So it says day one at Mid-Michigan Motorplex saw a first-time leader as Connor Leimenstoll clocked a new record for sick 8th mile events with a 4.783 at 165.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 163 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing.
Oh, for sure. And Jay has been working on something himself here. He made a post and said, something we've been working on for a while, a standalone controller to run 2017 to 2022 Ford OEM power running boards on virtually anything. No CAN bus or factory Ford module needed. Said getting the latest version into real-world testing now. What would you put a set on?
Oh, dude, Jason Hurley's tow rig.
Oh, yes, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, that. I don't know if Steven's new big truck build would work with that. It's probably going to sit too low, but yeah, stuff like that, man. I love old cars with running boards.
That would be sweet. And that's a brilliant idea, too. It's not something I would have ever thought of. So big shout out to Jay for working on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a lot of times you can buy used power running boards a lot cheaper than you can buy brand new sets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and Jay loves that nerdy stuff like that, so it's gonna be great
for sure.
Hang on, that's not what we're talking about next, dude. Did you see? Is that what you and your wife are going to Chicago for?
It is not the reason we're going to Chicago. However, we might be going this Friday night. So This is going to hit the guys and girls that are our age. Fast and Furious is getting re-released in theaters starting, I believe, tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
it's running for 1 week only. So the original Fast and Furious movie, the one that probably every one of us drove our whatever hot rods we had at the time, 25 years ago, to the theaters and watch that movie. It's going to be re-released, and I'm kind of excited to see if I go to this theater, how many cool cars are going to be sitting in the parking lot. Because if you go to the movie theaters on a regular Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's not cool cars sitting there. And I've seen all over my feed, obviously, tons of race car friends all over my Facebook feed. There's tons of people that have been talking about this, outdoor theaters that are playing it. Pretty excited. 25 years really made me think. I was 15.
No way. God, I was an adult. I was 20.
So I didn't even drive anything, I guess, to the theaters probably.
Wow, that's pretty wild to think that, either your dad dropped you off or you rode with some friends.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, they're trying to get it done during Cruise and Lose, but not quite. But hey, there's plenty of time for that. That's awesome. So I'm going, my wife and my daughter, one of my daughters are going, and then my cousin is going. I don't think she went with us the first time, but Steven and his son are going, which is super cool. And then, so when it came out, I'm almost certain that me, Steven, and Christopher, our other male cousin, I think we all three took the old truck to the thing. So man, it really is difficult for me not to put this thing back together in the way that we drove it home and take it up there. But I just don't want to do that. I want it to be right when it goes back together because we got more important things to do than take it to this. But we are going to take the Narcs cart, and I'm kind of excited about that. So my neighbor hosts a thing, Cruising the Ozarks, and it's a charitable car show deal, and they're doing a big thing at a local theater here. So we're going to go up there and hang out.
Chris, my God. I didn't watch it until about 5 years later. Didn't want to watch an import movie. Yeah, I mean, that was the time though. That's what we were all into. At least our age. I think we were all into that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think it really kicked off a lot of people into just the car scene in general. Whether you went the way of the imports or you went a different way.
No, a lot of that movie had been just a trilogy. It was just a trilogy. It was just three. They didn't even have to take out Tokyo Drift and you go with a third theme in there, and that had been it. Dude, think about how much different the world would be now in automotive stuff. Now they're just goofy movies, but man, back then, dude, it was the jam.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. JayWire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jaywiresolutions.com.
Yeah, supposedly this next one is going back to, the original. So we'll see. It still doesn't come out, I think, till 2028.
Yeah.
So,
I just can't believe it's been 25 years. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my wife and I watched Too Fast and Too Furious together in theaters and have watched every one in theaters since then when it came out.
Yeah, for a long time, I hosted a car show on the premiere night. Like we would host a big car show Friday night. It was really fun to do. And we did that in Fayetteville for several years. And then that manager left and the next people didn't care. So It was cool, man. We had a bunch of cars. And I think one event we had like 300 plus cars show up. So
yeah, I talked about it at work today and people are like, why is it coming back out? I'm like, dude, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking to people that are only like 27. So,
God.
They just don't know.
Oh, man, that's so sad. That's so sad. All right, let's get moving. Did you get a chance to watch this today? This was freaking badass.
I did not.
Ned Dunphy may get ambassador award this year for this because he's been a lot of different places, has done several interviews. This one here was probably my favorite. He really did a great job mixing the pro mod racing side of stuff and drag and drive side of stuff. And man, these guys, by the end of the conversation, they're like, we got to do a drag and drive. We got to do a drag and drive. So I was dropping Wild West Drag and Dash because it's right down the street from Wes there in Texas. And so this one was pretty good. So big shout out to Ned Dunphy, great ambassador of the sport and a dude that just won PDRA Pro Boost, big deal, and is now on the Wes Buck Show because of that. But then also, one of the guys for the top contenders for Drag Week again. Record holder, all that stuff. And
he's wearing a Drag Week t-shirt.
Does it get any cooler?
Right. I'm pretty jealous of his beard, though. That thing looks...
Look how... Yeah, dude.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Man, that guy has like a real job, right? And does important things. We don't know what he does, but it's important. And then goes out and is like a hell of a drag racer. Hell of a car guy. So super cool stuff, man. Big shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sir, tell us about some Michigan Mile stuff.
All right. So just to catch everybody up on the first couple days, Sick the Mag, these are updates that they had posted on Facebook. So it says, day one at Mid-Michigan Motorplex saw a first-time leader as Connor Leimenstoll clocked a new record for Sick 8th mile events with a 4.783 at 165. In his father Rob's Chevy Nova. Super cool. Said it's a close race in the top four with Connor just ahead of Chuck Marlatt with a 4.841, Aydan Bailey with a 5.026, and John Moore with a 5.077. So that was day one. Today was day two, and Chuck Marlatt stunned the field with a 4.869 to be the early leader today. That's going to be a tough time to beat. So they are preparing to continue north for the drive today as they cross the Mackinac Bridge before turning around for a drive day tomorrow ahead of a return to racing at Ubley on Friday, Lapeer on Saturday, and Mid-Michigan Motorplex on Sunday.
How cool, man. Yeah, this one is one that's on my list. I'm sure they won't go back in 2027, but 2028, maybe I'll have something ready for it by then.
Yep. So we'll go through these. Again, these are the standings as of completion of today. So again, these are not your typical classes that you would see at a SICK event. These are the quickest in different categories. So first up is the quickest Chevy GMC, which is Aydan Bailey and his 57 Chevy with an average of 5.123.
Nice. And then the quickest Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury is Mr. Tom Kuepper, 94 F-150. Dude, I love this thing. It's that salmon and brown color there. 541 average for him so far.
Ranger says, Mackinac, come on now, Mackinac. This one has always tripped me up. I'm not from Michigan, but why is it spelled Mackinac but pronounced Mackinac?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's some southern shit there, bud.
Quickest Mopar, Terry Keifer, 1967 Plymouth Barracuda with a 5.773 average.
Nice. Quickest Olds, Mr. Christopher Weingart's there, 82 Oldsmobile, 784 for him.
I think you missed the quickest Pontiac, Douglas in 1989 Firebird with a nice 6.10000 average.
Got all the zeros on that one. Quickest stick shift, Mr. William Flippin, 2000 Corvette with a 598 average so far.
Quickest naturally aspirated, Paul English in a 1970 Dodge Super Bee with a 6.334 average.
Nice. And then the quickest nitrous car, I like this. We have Dave Schroeder on in a couple of weeks to talk about some nitrous stuff. Going to learn a lot that night. Mr. Josh Offerman, 2004 GMC Sierra, running a 650 average for him for the weekend.
Nice.
Week so far.
Quickest Radial, another one that's pronounced nothing like it's spelled. Eric Bjerketbedt with a 2000 Chevy Camaro with a 5,356 average.
Man, that's right on the money too, because that's a dude that won that 6 Summer Street Race 275.
I think so.
Yeah, that car's deadly competitive. The quickest gasser here, Mr. Jay in the 55 Chevy. Love that car. 628 average for him so far.
Quickest hot rod, Zachary Blousey, 1923 Ford Model T, 5,972 average.
Yeah, and I saw he posted today that he needed a welder, ended up finding one that had to re-weld on a motor mount. Pretty awesome. And then quickest big block, Mr. Charles Marlatt, 85 Camaro, 485 average for him so far.
Yeah, he is laying it down. Derek here saying, been a great couple days so far on Michigan Miles. Thanks for the coverage. And Caden, who we talked about earlier, said phone's about to die, but we've been chugging along. We are in fastest small block 3rd place.
Nice.
So pretty cool there. All right.
Wait. He spelled it different. Said currently at the hotel on the beach across from Mackinac Island Bridge. If it was spelled like that in the post, we'd have done it. Oh, Bjerketbedt. Yeah, you were close.
That was close. Appreciate that. The quickest small block is Kevin Parton, a 67 Chevy Nova with a 5,431 average.
Nice. And then quickest diesel, Mr. Dustin West in an 01 Chevy 2500, 668 so far for him.
Nice. Quickest 4-cylinder, Adam Helmer in a 2022 DF Goblin, which I think is pretty cool. 8.253 average.
Yeah, that thing's so cool, man. I love it. He's done Street and Ute in the past. I think is awesome. Quickest 6-cylinder, Mr. Steve McNair in a Cadillac ATSV, not CTSV, ATSV with a 731 average for him so far.
And then quickest NHRA Junior Street in the DYO, Connor Aspergren at a 1965 Chevy Impala wagon, 9,419 average.
Come on. Way to go, dude. That's awesome. Quickest motorcycle V-twin, Mr. Sean Clark, 2015 Harley Street Glide, 702 for him.
And the quickest motorcycle 1,000 and above cc, Jim Clark in a 2014 Harley Street Glide with a 704 average.
Sounds like those two dudes need to duke it out.
Right. So pretty awesome. That is your current standings as of day 2. So still 3 more days. And again, once the event is finished, we will have all the final results. Probably not this weekend. Probably our show next Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll update these same stats on Saturday morning with whoever the guest co-host is I have that day. So, dude, look at these shots from Sigma Mag.
Oh, that one was awesome.
Yeah, the rain, streetcars and rain, dude, epic, legendary shots.
Yeah, that's a great shot. And then one of the route stops, it's Steve Morris Engines.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then our boy, Mr. Marty in there, Martin Kilroy. That's awesome, man. I love that thing. And he had invited me to be his co-pilot, and I just couldn't make it work. But I hope they're having a blast.
Yeah. And Derek said they've been matching up Harleys every run, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So they're side by side. That's pretty neat.
All right. Well, that wraps up our JayWire segment. And
race car friends. Bro, like, how do we live without these guys, man? I'm telling you, guys and girls, we appreciate all you guys and all that you do. This week has been pretty wild. Lots of messages back and forth between me and a bunch of people talking about anything from they don't think they're going to make drag week to, hey, how do I get a ticket to the short circuit? I mean, like all kinds of really fun, crazy stuff going on. So guys, just want to say thank you so much for being our race car friends. And thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate you doing that and watching our show. And of course, our sponsors, we cannot do what we do without these guys. So if you're doing some shopping, we just ask, give these folks a chance. You know, I would say probably 110% of the folks that we talk to here on the show have probably heard of Summit Racing. You know, they've heard of it more than just us talking about it. We appreciate Summit and what they do for us, but also for the entire automotive community. And of course, Deechworks, the official field delivery of drag driver Pete, but also title sponsor of the short circuit. So I'm really pumped about what they've got going on. Molly Motorsport, of course, top pistons in the game. Those guys are awesome. Going to be able to hang out with George Wright while we're at Drag Week, which is going to be exciting. And of course, Driven Racing Oil, Michael Neal on a 3-week tour right now of all kinds of racing, not just drag racing, all kinds of stuff. So these guys do anything and everything. I think he's headed to another race this weekend, has literally been on the road for 2 weekends prior, going to all kinds of races and stuff. And of course, Howard's Cams, our boy Luke B, and the team over there taking care of all of our valve train stuff and taking care of anybody else's valve train stuff that's out there, like Rick Steinke. JayWire Solutions, of course, Jay Blanchard, the man, the myth, the legend of that, the tuning, the magic fingers there of Brian Acton's Fast Act Racing Nova, AFCO Racing Products. I'm wearing my shirt tonight in honor of wrenching on the old truck here in a few minutes, because that's what I'm going to be doing. And my plan is to mount up some rear-mounted shock mounts tonight. So, going to be hitting up our boys over there at AFCO, see what they got going on. Performer Built Transmissions, best GM transmission builder on the planet. Car Change 3D, of course, Corey, the team over there, just total badasses. And Low Dollar Motorsports. You need your sensors handled. You need stuff. You need to know what your car's doing. Low Dollar Motorsports is the place to do that. And of course, Power Tube TV and Racing Junk Classifieds.